It's Wednesday afternoon on the radio, as well as on Spotify, and Friday afternoon on YouTube. You know what that means. Ringside Heat is on the air on Newstalk Saga 960, Spotify, and your favorite podcatcher, and on YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Lex Tan, host and producer of the show. You can follow me at Lex Tan Media. Follow the show at Ringside_Heat on all of our social media platforms. We've got content on YouTube, Instagram, X, Facebook, TikTok, Threads, and Patreon. It is a two-man ring crew here today, and welcoming back for after a couple of weeks off, our AEW expert, our Godzilla movie expert as well, and he is a charity Twitch streamer for sick kids. At Risen72 is his handle, so follow him there, and also follow his Godzilla podcast at KenjiraCast. His name is Colin Dawson. Colin, welcome back to the show, and good to see you.
Oh, thanks, buddy. It's good to be back. Yeah, well, I mean, there's just been enough doings transpiring that I had to come back and just, maybe we'll battle it out on a couple of points a little bit later, but there's a lot going on, a lot still going on. That's weird to me. Seen as heel turn. And, and then, of course, lots to talk about of bonus pay-per-views with AEW, but no, they're not. But yeah, I don't know. AEW has been a lot of fun. WWE's been weird.
Okay, yeah, you know what? I will agree on some points in that aspect as well, too.
Because I'm watching both now. Don't forget, for people who've forgotten, I did return to WWE this year. Mm-hmm. Not great, I don't think, but I returned this year because it's been real weird. Mm-hmm. But but definitely I've been having just fun with AEW and WWE. I'm like, they're doing that. Oh, and look at that ad in the middle of the ring. I don't like that. So, but
that's one thing.
We'll get into that. Yeah.
Oh, definitely. But it's starting to look as kooky as like those Don King promoted fights back in the 80s and the 90s.
Oh, that's a perfect comparison. Oh my goodness, there it is, folks. Yeah, quote that.
I mean, I remember Chris Shepard, a Toronto DJ, Chris Shepard from back in the day, said something about crazy out of control, like Don King's hair, and those ads are starting to get crazy out of control itself as well.
Getting higher, man. It's going to be each letter of the wrestler's name is brought to you by a different sponsor.
Oh my god! So who's got the longest name right now in WWE?
Well, I mean, technically the Viking Raiders, if you go by one of their old names.
Wow.
There you go.
We will get into a little bit more about the WWE stuff, but I got to start off over here the show with AEW. Since you are the AEW expert, first of all, number two, it is going to be later on in the evening. It is going to be a 4-hour extravaganza of All Elite Wrestling presented by Tony Khan and his wrestlers.
You think 3-hour Raw and SmackDown is bad? Well, no. How about all right, folks, what it is, they're just putting Dynamite and Collision together. It's plain basketball. That's it. That's all it is. It'll go back to normal. Everybody relax. This whole, everybody's complaining about 3-hour Raw. I'm the first in line to complain about 3-hour Raw. Mm-hmm. But it's scheduling. TBS is all about basketball, and I don't blame them. So it's fine, but it'll go back to normal. But that's all it is. It's just both episodes smashed together, both shows smashed together for one big giant episode. And if Summer Blockbuster is half as fun as Fyter Fest was, I mean, I'm in for a long, nice treat later on this evening. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, so as you said earlier, you are having a lot of fun watching AEW, and especially the last couple of weeks since the last AEW Double or Nothing pay-per-view. Yeah. And we did get a chance to discuss that and get a review going for that. So, tell me right now what is the most fun thing that you're looking forward to right now when it comes to AEW Summer Blockbuster?
Well, actually, let me just take a quick look at the cards so far. And all right, well, I'll tell you right now then, what's already been signed, Timeless Tony Storm versus Julia Hart.
Oh, that's already going to be, I like that already. Holy gee. Yeah.
And we've also got Will Ospreay versus Swerve Strickland.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then the Hurt Syndicate's going to be in a trios match, because why not? With the newly highlighted new roster members. Well, not Commander isn't new, but Speedball Mike Bailey is relatively new, and so is Kevin Knight. They've been fun to watch, especially Canadian Speedball Mike Bailey. So that's what's going on there. We've got new women's wrestler debuted from Austria, Tekla.
Yes.
And, she's taking on Queen Aminata. And then, of course, we got the horrible, terrifying duo of Megan Bain and Penelope Ford. They're going to be taking on a returning, or who already returned, Ty Mello and Anna Jay. So,
oh yes, that's right. Ty Mello.
Yeah.
No longer Ty Conti, but Ty Mello.
Ty Mello.
Back to her original name.
And actually, just one more thing with the women's division. Sky Blue has also recently returned, and Mina Shirakawa is now full-time with AEW. So the women's division right now is definitely popping off. And of course, leading the charge is Toni Storm versus Mercedes Moné, which will be happening at All In. So that's been the most fun, honestly, is the women's division right now. There's a lot of different things happening. So yeah, that's been great to watch.
So here's the thing. I'll run this by you right now. I can tell you. I'm going to say this, and it's and in no way is this ironic, or no way do I mean other than it is entertaining TV, entertaining wrestling, but both the WWE and the AEW women's divisions, to me at the moment, are the most entertaining are the most entertaining segments of the shows right now on both AEW and the WWE side.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Because I mean, I had said before we just started, AEW's been a lot of fun. WWE's been weird. What's not been weird is anything happening with the women's division. So, yeah, if something that's just going as smooth as it can, running as well as it can, that's the women's division on both shows. Yeah.
Yeah, and you said Toni Storm will be going up against
Julia Hart tonight.
Oh yes, so
Summer Blockbuster, yeah.
Right, and so with Julia Hart, I mean, we've seen Toni Storm in the way that she has developed her character, and just gets even better when, like, when you put her and Shirakawa together. But with Julia Hart, I know that she's also been making a lot of big strides in the industry right now. So what can you tell me about what the last couple of months have held for Julia Hart since?
Well, I mean, she's just kind of a little bit newly back from her injury and everything as well, but completely continuing with the new gimmick and everything that she started with, oh my God, I can't, the House of Black, now the Hounds of Hell. But so that's still going, really reinventing herself, because at the very beginning, she was your cheerleader character, which we've seen a million times. Right. But she found the perfect gimmick that worked for her, made the the women's TBS championship prestigious with her impressive run with it. So she's just been in the conversation as the top of the division ever since. So it's like, oh, Julia's here, we're going to have a great match. So it's just simple as that. And then even now with the storyline where Sky Blue has kind of been Julia Hart's creation. Like, she kind of corrupted Sky Blue a little bit. And so now they seem to be a tag team, more or less. So,
and that's something I also noticed as well with Sky Blue, is that there is a little bit of a more edge to her character, and that is as a result of her dealings with Julia Hart. And I think that's actually something that I think Sky Blue needed, because she was just your generic good hand in the ring, also attractive female wrestler in the ring. So there wasn't much to the character yet at that point, but now that Julia Hart is actually they're using her to manipulate or to provide character development as well for someone like Sky Blue. I think that's also very, very important, especially with we're not in the indies, because we have the long-term storytelling that we can do, right? Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, anything like that's been solved years ago. But I think with Sky Blue, the performer, I think it seems to me how it comes across in the ring is something that is actually just she's much more comfortable with.
and having more fun with, and I think kind of finding the spot she needed to find. And so I think that's it. And I mean, Julia Hart's just been through, you could say, the trenches, maybe. I mean, she's still so young in her career as well, but she's already done so much. I think Julia Hart's the perfect person to work from, where they're kind of in the same spot, I think, in their career. And Julia Hart's just got that little bit more experience. But I mean, in terms of what she did with already a successful championship run, yeah, it's pretty good. So.
Ringside Heat on News Talk Saga 960 AM. We're talking about AEW and the summer blockbuster that will be airing 4 hours of straight TV on TBS in the United States, as well as TSN if you can find it in Canada. Sticking to the women over here, we, as you mentioned earlier, we have Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford versus Ty Mello and Anna Jay. Ty, you said this is going to be her first match back in AEW since her maternity leave. Is this the case?
Yeah, she showed up at Fyter Fest and attacked. She attacked Penelope. I think she attacked Megan too, and that's what set up the tag match for Summer Blockbuster. Yeah, so she's just back to help out her friend Anna Jay. So yeah,
and based on, I mean, there's nothing much. There isn't a lot we can base things off of right now in terms of does Ty have ring rust? But then of course, Sammy is her husband. Sammy Guevara is her husband and everything. And I'm sure, based on all the content that they've put out on their about them being new parents and everything, I'm pretty sure that they've got some good that they keep each other trained as well, and to make sure the ring rust doesn't go away. But are you what are you is there anything that you can think that that Ty Mello could possibly bring forward now, in this new run? Because back when she was, back before she became a parent, she was great in the ring and everything, and she was really starting to pick up steam, especially when you team her up with Anna Jay. But at the same time, it's one of those things where finding a distinct character that Ty Mello could go forward with has been, I guess, sort of the bane of her career at the moment, at this point, as far as I've been able to discern.
Yeah, no, I can see that. But honestly, I think what's happening now, and I think because we're getting a lot of recently new women's wrestlers either coming back or debuting, Tekla, of course, being one of them. Honestly, I think the women's tag division is around the corner. Mm-hmm. And I think what's happening, and I could see where Mercedes actually defeats Tony at All In. And we're going to have Tony and Mina possibly be the inaugural tag team champions. Mm-hmm. And so then you're going to have people who are already buddying up, like Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford and Ty Mello and Anna Jay and Julia Hart and Sky Blue. There's tag teams right there. What's that, 5 I just said, right? So, yes. Yeah, that's enough for a division, right? Mm-hmm. And so, honestly, yeah, I think the women's tag division for AEW is just around the corner, and I think that's what's happening with all these ones kind of coming back. So, will it be I don't think we're going to, maybe. July is not that far away. I don't know if we're going to have the first winner of the women's tag champ in time for All In, but maybe the start of the tournament, or at least the announcement,
Yeah.
And, I can see them doing it like a tournament. The AEW does really well with their tournaments. I'm enjoying their tournaments last year and this year. It's really picked up as fun to watch no matter the outcome, not just all of the BC people in the back need something to do to kind of tournament. This, especially this last Owen Hart tournament, it was stacked. All the matches were stacked for both men and women. So yeah, make it a tag tournament. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I do want to ask you about this. You mentioned earlier we have the Hurt Syndicate, Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, and MJF going up against Speedball, Mike Bailey, Commander, and Kevin Knight. I mean, this matchup is already crazy as it is, because you already have that mix between the super heavyweights and the and
you're gonna have 3 guys just flipping around with Bobby Lashley just waiting in the middle, just watching them all flip around, and then just boom. That's your match. It's gonna be awesome.
But I have to do, but I actually do kind of want to comment on like the consistency and the rise of Speedball Mike Bailey right now, because I mean like. I've been particularly blessed to be able to watch him live twice in a month.
So you're way ahead of me, yeah, for sure.
Because he was at MLPW earlier in the earlier in May, right? It was May, right? Yeah, man, time's nothing to me anymore. But like I don't know.
Decade, the time means nothing. This entire decade.
Yeah, exactly. But last month, seeing Speedball Mike Bailey wrestling at Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling Northern Rising at Maple Leaf Gardens, and just the way that that in a triple threat match again, it was and I talked about this at the show with Chico before, but holy mother of pearl, like there is nothing like watching a Speedball Mike Bailey match.
Well, I mean, this is another AEW discovery for me of an indie darling that's been around. It's the 10-year overnight success kind of situation where it's like he's awesome, and I never heard of him until he debuted in AEW, but I'm glad he has because now I know about him and I can go and find other stuff. He's fantastic. He's a Street Fighter character come to life, and it's beautiful, right? If he was more violent, he'd be a Mortal Kombat character, but right now he's Street Fighter, and that's okay. It's great.
I think John Moxley's the Mortal Kombat character.
Yeah, honestly, Mark Briscoe.
Oh, okay, yeah, I could get
he bleeds more than Moxley.
And that is a lot, and Moxley, that's a lot of blood.
I mean, yeah, he's calmed down lately, but it's not the go-to anymore that it once was in AEW. Thank goodness.
Thank God. Yeah.
Well, the last remnants were last year, and I hope they learned their lesson. Unless Briscoe's in the match, and then it's like, all right, fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So where do you see right now? Of course, these are just the matches that are announced at the moment. We don't know about the promos and stuff like that and all that. Do you see now? Here's the question before we go to break. Mm-hmm. Do you see Hangman Page becoming the AEW champion eventually at All In, and other than the fact that he's the cowboy coming home to Texas to win, but do you see him becoming the AEW champion? Do you see him how do you think that will build up? Or should he actually hold the championship long term after All In, if he so happens to get it?
Well, first I'll say the next champion should hold it long term, not as long as Mox. Mm-hmm. We'll be talking about eating words later on. I think Hangman should.
Okay.
I don't think he's going to.
Oh.
The way the storyline has been with Ospreay and Swerve and Hangman, Mox is still going to be right about how AEW can't get their act together to dethrone him. And we're going to see Darby return at All In and challenge Moxley at the next pay-per-view. And Darby's going to dethrone Mox. I think that's where it's going.
Oh, wow. Okay. I mean, that's interesting because honestly, to be honest with you, it's like, yes, I could see the symmetry when it comes to Hangman Page winning the AEW championship at All In Texas. But at the same time, I don't, because you did mention the next champion should be holding the belt long term. Yeah. I still don't believe that Adam Page can have a long term run with the title and have it continue to be interesting.
With what they've been doing lately with like Swerve and Hangman maybe eventually seeing past themselves to become friends, and Ospreay trying to rally some sort of AEW team, namely those two, to take down Mox, it is making it interesting. And so I think if that's what started, I'd like to see it go through. But yeah, again, hold the belt longer than Jey Uso. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, jeez. Oh boy, we're gonna get into we will get into that. We will definitely get into that after we take a break over here on News Talk Saga 960 AM. We'll be back after these promotional considerations.
Under all the lights, with only everyone, he's looking for one single
And welcome back to Ringside Heat on News Talk Saga 960 AM Lextan at Lextan Media. Ringside Heat at Ringside_Heat. Colin Dodge over here at Risen72. You can follow his Godzilla podcast at Ken Jiracast. That's CANJIRA cast, and he'll talk about Godzilla movies, all the way from
from the beginning, sir, right to the end. And actually, once I get through the Showa era, which is the first 15 Godzilla movies, I'm actually going to switch over to the Monarch Season 1 TV show.
Wow.
We're going to switch things up a little bit, and then go back into the Toho movies. But yeah, we're gonna be diving into. Got a little while yet, but yeah, I'll be diving into the Monarch TV series yet. If you haven't watched it, it's fantastic. Kurt Russell and Wyatt Russell playing the same character in different times.
Interesting.
First in TV history.
Yeah,
mother and son playing the same character. Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting because like that's an interesting thing I didn't know, because I always took it for granted that, like, you know, you can have a lot of science fiction out there, like your Star Treks and stuff like that, and your and like your Doctor Who's, you can play the different, you have different characters playing each other at the same in different points in time, and with the Doctor, with Doctor Who, you just bring a whole bunch of the old actors back and then just slap them together for a wibbly wobbly timey wimey story, but.
For those who don't know Wyatt Russell, Falcon and Winter Soldier, he was it the Patriot, the new Captain America, and the one that just came out.
Right.
Yeah. With Harrison Ford. Oh my goodness, I'm out of sync with Marvel stuff. Marvel's. You want to talk about getting weird? Marvel's getting weird, but that's a whole other show, a whole other podcast. We can go down that rabbit hole. So.
And for those of you who are listening as well, too, you want to catch some wrestling, some live professional indie wrestling, go ahead and join me this coming Friday over at Oshawa Wrestling in Oshawa. And this is the first time I'm working with this company. And I'm going to be running sound. I'm going to be doing some. I might be doing some ring announcing, but I'm also going to be calling the show as well on my Rode Pod, my Rode Podcaster, or whatever they're called. Those itty bitty Rode. I'm going to be running sound for Oshawa Wrestling, and I've known Brent Carswell. He's the promoter of that. A lot of people that are actually in the Indies right now, and also going through who went through TNA and other places, have been a part of that show, that promotion as well. So you're gonna get some definitely good wrestling. It's a nice little venue, nice and intimate venue in a Legion House. Yeah, it's basically Legion House. I'll get to the Well, I'll get you the information in the next hour, or in the next part of the show. But for now, we're gonna have to start the conversation about what WWE's been up to over the past couple of weeks. I'm gonna start it off by saying this. Yeah.
I gotta fuel up. Go ahead.
Yes, I'm gonna start off by saying this. I despite what Ron Killings himself, now he's called Ron Killings as he revealed himself on Raw, he did post that, you know, it was the fans that brought him back after he got released last week.
Okay.
I will say that this is something that we've been discussing over the past few years, that you yourself, Colin, have started off discussing years ago. Yes. This is all part of the new kayfabe, and there are so many different outlets out there who are covering wrestling as a journalistic form. And don't get me wrong, it's you definitely do want that to happen. I mean, like, look at what Van Vliet and Salcedo and SRS have been able to do with that. I still believe, personally speaking, this is all a work. And one of the reasons why is because Triple H, during the press conference, when he was directly asked about our truth, about our truth, coming back at the and everything, he said it's all part of the show. It's it's all part of the show, and I don't know if it's. And I know he's using that to be cryptic, so because maybe it could have all been. It could have been all shoot and all real that he was released, and then he did get, and then he got brought back into the WWE, a la Daniel Bryan when he when he went to the Wyatts, and all of a sudden shed the skin. Yes, on top of the cage, which
Punk when he walked away with the belt and then came back.
Yep, exactly. But I believe personally, in my own heart of hearts, because of everything that's happened, and especially the storyline implications of all of this as well, when it comes to the Cena heel turn, I believe that this is all a work, and that Truth, our Ron Killings now, has a big part to play in the downfall of the John Cena heel character and the return of the face.
Okay. I'll say this. Perhaps it's a more cynical view, but I think with this era of WWE and who's in charge, not just necessarily Triple H, because he's not the only one, obviously, I could see them making the mistake of firing him because of a balance sheet. Okay. And not what is actually happening, or Triple H being overruled or something like that. I can see this administration, whatever you want to call them, making that mistake, and then somebody going, look, fix it now. And so here's what we have. If the administration 10 years ago, the administration in Attitude Era, no, I don't think would have made this mistake, at least not with how well Ron Killing is doing. Now, I will say this, though, too. If it happens again and he comes back as K Quick, then yes, it's all been a work from the get-go. I will eat this hat. But
now, here's the thing. If that does happen, if he does get fired again, he comes back as K Quick, is this something... Yeah.
Shame on the first time. Shame on you. Shame on me. Yeah. Okay.
Now here's a thought. Now here's a thought exercise. If that does happen, is that the fault of TKO management? Is that the fault of Triple H being the CEO, the CCO, or is that The Rock trying to flex his muscles?
Yeah. How have we not had a video yet where The Rock's like explaining to how wrestling works and how this was pulled off? Man, he annoys me. Anyway, no, if that does happen, if the K-Quick return happens, then no, it was a genius in the writer's room that mapped this whole thing out for years. And then I'll actually respect WWE even more if they do it again. And it's K-Quick taking on Cena's nephew or something. I don't know. We got evil heel Cena nephew, and K-Quick's got to turn him back.
The real little Jimmy is actually
the real little Jimmy. Yes. Oh, little Jimmy debuts. Yeah, there we go. And it's Darby Allin. No.
Oh, jeez. Oh my God.
Sorry, I crossed the streams. I can't do that. But the internet can't handle that.
He can't debut in WWE if he's holding the AEW championship, because we know what happened.
I mean, did he get off the mountain yet? I don't know if he's back down on Earth.
Well, the flag's there, so
yeah, the flag's there. No, he's back. He'll be back. He's coming back at All In. Mark my words. But yeah, yeah. I mean, I could see it being the genius thing from the whole get-go, but I can see going, no, they made a mistake, and yeah, I mean, you got to have. Ron Killing should not be champion because of this. No, he doesn't need to be champion, and I don't think that will work. He doesn't need to be champion from it, but just get him on the mic and do it that way, you know? Yeah, but no, he doesn't need to be champion from this. We all know it's Jacob Fatu has to destroy Cena at the end in December and become the new champion. So that's how it works.
But here's the thing. I see. As much as I like the idea of Jacob Fatu, because now Jacob Fatu has the has the fuel to turn face. Now that Solo has basically badmouthed him behind his back.
I mean, the fans are going to do it regardless anyway. But yeah, it's as long as they're smart enough to let Jacob Fatu embrace it. He's smart enough to go with the flow live. Not a lot of wrestlers could do that. I think he is.
Mm-hmm.
He's smart enough to read a room, read an arena, and act accordingly, and still achieve the goal that was set out in the script. But yeah, no, he's one of the smarter ones. So yeah, just let him do his thing.
Mm-hmm. And okay, I'll say this one thing. As much as I know that my own commentary style has been very much influenced by Michael Cole, the one gripe I had from Money in the Bank from last Saturday was that that when Solo said, or when Jacob said, "I hate you," he didn't say Solo, but then Michael Cole insisted that he said, "I hate you, Solo."
He flubbed the line. We'll fix it in post. It's Netflix, right? I mean, they did it to Chris Rock's stand-up. They fixed it.
Oh yeah, no,
if you didn't watch it live, yeah,
yeah. Same thing with Elimination Chamber. Rock, go fedora yourself, right? So
yeah, exactly. Yippee-ki-yay, Mother Hubbard, yeah.
Speaking of Hubbard, I need some. I'm feeling hungry. I need to get something from the cupboard. So yeah. But yeah, that's my lame attempt at wit. Anyway, another confounding thing as well. I mean, like, okay, it's not confounding to me because I think it's actually believable that this would happen. I just didn't think it would happen on a Monday Night Raw. Jey Uso being dethroned as the World Heavyweight Champion, losing the belt, maybe not even 2 months into his tenure as the World Heavyweight Champion, back to Gunther. And so I mean, it wasn't surprising because Gunther it makes total sense that Gunther would win this match, and it makes total sense that and the way that they've been building Jay, it makes total sense to me that they are building him up to be a more improved and a more deadly person in the ring that could contend with Gunther. However, the fact that the fact that it was done on Monday Night Raw and not at a PLE, maybe they could have saved it for next month. Maybe they could have saved it for SummerSlam. Maybe they could have done it at Money in the Bank or something like that. I don't know. It's a title change that I think should not have been done on Raw. No,
I mean, if you're going to have a title change that's weird, then, save it for the overseas pay-per-view where it's probably not going to be as watched anyway. Mm-hmm. And so if you're going to have weirdness, then put it on the pay-per-view. Quite a few, I think, we'll probably skip. So, of course, that's Night of Champions I'm talking about.
Right.
Put it over there and not, headlining a match that, Cena's going to win. And, eating words against his opponent. But yeah, so yeah, I mean, it was weird from the finish at Mania how Jay won. Mm-hmm. Didn't make sense. And I thought, well, that's weird. I was fine with him winning, absolutely fine with him winning, of course. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, that's a weird finish because that really weakened Gunther, I thought. And I don't know, because somehow to me this has made Gunther less interesting. It's like, is this like a hard reset? It's 5 weeks too late. I don't know.
But here's the thing too, is that with Gunther, holding the belt for the Devil's number of days, the Intercontinental Championship for the Devil's number of days, that was I like that a lot. Love it. I like that a lot. It was because it was the Intercontinental Championship. Yeah, but Gunther winning, but Gunther, I do like the idea that Gunther being in the world title picture is going to have more competition because I did not like the way that Brock Lesnar held that belt for so long and became and because of his being the monster, being the monster champion out of pure physicality. That's the thing. Yeah. He's the monster champion out of pure physicality, and anybody that was going to take down Brock Lesnar, the most believable thing that happened was Eddie Guerrero doing it. Why? Because Goldberg came in and interrupted the match.
Yeah. But that didn't weaken Eddie at all.
Exactly.
Because they did it that well. Yeah, they did that properly for sure. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know, because now it feels like this belt is just between those two. I mean, in the middle of all of this, has it been noticed? I haven't noticed. Are they building anybody else up to it? Is LA Knight maybe going to get a crack at this thing ever? I
want him to, honestly.
Yeah, but I mean, like, there's other people in the wings. I mean, why not Jimmy? I mean, I was hoping for Jimmy versus Jay, and not that they're against each other, but, we're brothers and you deserve a title shot at SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
I would have loved that, like the friendly brother versus brother. Maybe do the reverse of Brett versus Owen, where it's not they hate each other, but this is out of respect, and I will give you a title shot. You're my brother, but you still got to earn it, though. Mm-hmm. You're not going to finger poke of doom me, right? So
we know how good that turned out.
Yes, exactly. I'm just bringing in all the references, folks. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I was hoping for, right? Mm-hmm. And then and now I don't know. I mean, Gunther, I don't care, honestly, that Gunther has it back. Mm-hmm. And what? So then it's just him and Jay again. Like, I don't know.
And but that's the thing, is that if you're going to have a title shot, so now don't get me wrong. It's like, it's nice to have, shorter, I guess in a sense, for his change of pace, to have that shorter reign, because, because we've already had Cody hold it for a year. We've had, we've had Roman hold it for 4 years. We've had Brock part-timing with the belt.
Get started.
And it's nice that there is a belt that can be, I guess, passed around, for lack of a better term. It's just that, like, how are we going? How do we do it? How do you do it so that it is still believable and interesting? Because, as you said, Gunther now getting it back after losing it 5 weeks ago at WrestleMania, or 6-7 weeks or something like that. How many weeks now? I don't know. But why? How can we make title changes, quick title changes, interesting again?
I mean, it has to be where it's, you're got to hype up. He made one mistake, and that's all it took, kind of thing. Like, now this match was certainly not as epic as WrestleMania 25, Undertaker and Shawn, but I mean, the promo after that was great, where Shawn said, "I wrestled a perfect match except for one mistake." Mm-hmm. Taker caught him, hit the tombstone, and won. Like, that was it. But so yes. They could have done something like that, where Uso had an answer for everything, or was just that little bit quicker the whole match, except for one thing, and that's all Gunther needed to choke him out or just put him down, and that kind of thing, right? Mm-hmm, if they'd done something like that, not where it was, I don't know, almost looked like an audible in the ring. It just seemed really strange. And yeah, like, I remember they used to, in the Attitude Era, where sometimes they would do a surprise title change at a house show. And
yes.
The only reason being is, like, you got to go to these house shows. You don't know what's going to happen. I think it happened maybe 3 times in like 10 years. Mm-hmm. But it's almost like, is this what they're trying to do? Because they have a ton of TV going right now too. So, but not that title, not when it's somebody who just got it. They haven't, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's interesting too in that sense, because WWE doesn't do house shows anymore because of the whole Netflix thing.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, exactly. So that's not even a thing. So, I mean, yes, it's not as bad as Zack Ryder losing the IC title the very next night after Mania, but it's, it's just, maybe I'm comparing too far back. I don't know. It's just, we were playing a game in the break of how long, did he hold this title longer than this person? And yeah. we thought about combining Truth's 24/7 winnings, but there's too many of them to do the math. And yeah,
Mhm.
all together.
Mhm.
I don't know. It just seems right. It really diminishes Jay. I think it diminishes Gunther, and then I think there's holes in the locker room because I haven't noticed anybody else that's built up to challenge either of these two when this gets settled again.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, first thing is LA Knight, but he seems to have dropped off a little bit right now anyway too. So,
well, it's I think it's because they've been focusing so much on Jay and Gunther over the past 6 weeks and everything. So it's hard for someone like LA Knight to get a word in, edgewise, if for lack of a better term. But but I mean, he's still. I mean, yes, maybe to us watching on TV, LA Knight's been a little bit stalled, but then as soon as his music hits, it's still, like he's still getting some of the loudest pops in the arena, and I don't think he is in any trouble of losing his spot. It's just, where the hell is his spot?
Well, that's the thing, but it will eventually stop, though. Right? It's going to be a really long time because he's still that popular, but it will eventually go away. I mean, it just does, because, fans are just like, well, why am I cheering? Because he's never going to get it. They're never going to give him the spot. So, yeah, I don't know. It's just, it's just strange. So I want to see him get built up and all that kind of thing, but I think this is really... Yeah, I think this is showing a big kind of just a hole in that division of who would be up next for the world title. So,
Ringside Heat and News Talk Saga 960 AM. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we are going to rant a little bit more about what's happening with the John Cena heel turn, and what confounds Colin about about what's going on right now.
So confounded. Yeah.
Back up to these promotional considerations.
Under all the lights, with only everyone. He's looking for one single face.
And welcome back to Ringside Heat on News Talk Saga 960 AM. Lex Tan and Colin Dodge over here. Still a couple of more minutes before we have to sign off on the radio. So we're going to get into the State of the Union of the John Cena heel turn. We did get a little bit of we did get into a little bit with R-Truth and things that could happen with Ron Killings now. Yep. But right now, it'll be a little bit short debate as to how the John Cena heel turn is going. About 4 months in and 20 days left in his WWE in-ring career.
Going by fast.
Oh, yes, it is. It definitely is. So I'm going to start it off by saying, by saying I have liked and I have enjoyed the John Cena heel turn so far. Number one, I have the fact that it happened here in Toronto is fine. It is just like, nothing will ever. There's a lot of things that won't match that. I'm not going to say that that is the greatest thing ever, but not a lot is going to match up to that in my books right now. Yeah. Number two, I really do like the presentation. Again, I've said this before. It's just the black and white Titantron with just his name. He didn't change his music. He's wearing the belt backwards, and he's just stone faced coming to the ring until he gets on the microphone and he lays it on the crowd, and especially the crowd, the crowd. And I know Jose is not on the show anymore for him to hear this, but hey, I wanted to, when Cena went to Elimination Chamber and appeared there, I wanted to sing "John Cena Sucks." I was probably one of the few people in the arena that were singing that when he came out. But now everybody else is doing it now because he's John
Lex
Cena.
Was right, people. He was first.
Now he's John Cena the heel, and as far as I know that there's like you want to. wrestling is always best when you can blur the lines. Yes. But I also appreciate the fact that it's John Cena. You could when he's in real life, he's John Cena, the man, the Make-A-Wish guy, the the kind-hearted man that he always is, whatever like that. But then when he gets into the ring, he's John Cena, the character. Basically, I don't know. It's ironic because I do love the whole idea of the blur between the lines, but in this case, I kind of like the idea that John Cena is just the character in the ring.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's a true test of his actual acting, because I think it's where we're longtime fans of Cena, we're longtime watchers of wrestling. I think this is the first time where we can see that is completely not John Cena. Right. And it's where it's too much of a crazy character twist. It's hard to actually execute it properly, at least for me. I'll only speak for myself, of course. So you can tell it's just not him. And I don't know, it could be the overall issue of me watching WWE again this year. And I'll compare it to this. Old era Assassin's Creed versus new era Assassin's Creed.
Okay.
It's the same, but different.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll say this, I replay old era Assassin's Creed games, especially Black Flag. I have not replayed Odyssey or Valhalla or any of the new ones. I still haven't finished Mirage. I can't be bothered. So it's that kind of thing. I rewatch way too much Attitude Era pay-per-views. I haven't rewatched anything this year, so it's just that kind of thing. It's the same, but it's different. It's just off. It's a little off. And so that's where I find this heel turn. It's just a little off. Like, I mean, for many, many reasons, I wish Bray was still here, because the heel Cena we saw in their Mania match.
Yes.
If that was brought to life, and then we had Bray still here going, "Yeah, I told you."
Yeah,
that. If I mean, I'm hoping for something that can't happen, of course, but it's just like, if it was there that one time years and years ago where he came out with Thugonomics just for a night, that kind of thing. It was more that. It's like he's just trying too hard, and all his promos and stuff are just too whiny for me. Where he's just berating people, and I like the take of the toxic relationship take, but he was having a one-on-one conversation with an arena full of people. It was weird. I mean, I had wished, of course, with everybody's consent and full participation, wink, wink, they know what's actually going on. You just have a reel of him no-showing Make-A-Wish. To really show how heel he's become. Like, do that, right? Yeah. Just do something like that. And it's just like, they went so far, but maybe not that far enough. It's I don't know. It's like the final episode of a sitcom. You have it in your head of what it's going to be, and then what they're doing is perfectly fine, but it's not the insanity that you thought of. So how good could it ever be, too, right? So it could have just be an unachievable goal as well after so long of not being heel. Just it's not landing for me. Not that it's terrible, but it's not what I thought it was going to be. Not what. Yeah.
See, now that you mentioned it, well, now that you mention it, I kind of want to leave the listener here to think about this. You mentioned Bray Wyatt.
Yes. It
could have been amazing if the Wyatt Six was a part of this whole heel turn. And 20 shows left. There might still be a way to work it in somehow and grandfather it into the whole into the whole story. But I would love to see the Wyatt Six when they come when they return. They should be hinting that this was all that this was their doing.
Or they attack him and leave him in the middle of the ring and drape him with an NWO shirt. Yep.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Yeah. See, we thought of too good of a thing. When now they're going to come up and like, yeah, of course Jacob should have defeated him, but I don't know. Wyatt Six, that would have been cooler. So, yeah.
Ringside Heat on News Talk Saga 960 AM. We're almost done here on the radio. So before we go, Oshawa Wrestling presents Ruckus at the Oshawa Moose Lodge on this coming Friday the 13th. Tickets are on sale, $15 advance, $20 at the door for general admission. Doors open at 6:30. Bell time 7 o'clock. Call 905-621-8256 for tickets. Follow them on social media at Oshawa Wrestling. There's going to be Tyler Turva versus Daddy Davis, Casey Spinelli versus Kingsley, KPK versus Members Only, Saber and Jimmy Townsend, Kobe Dursk and Tarek, and you're also going to see the GCW guys like the Full Donovan, Steve Brown, and the Last Action Star as well is going to be there. So it's going to be a fun night. Rex Atkins will be there as well. So the boot. A lot of people that we already are familiar with more as well. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Wrestling
people this summer, you got to find the indie shows and let us know which shows you're going to. Let us know. We got to promote indie stuff too. Yeah, that's how it all starts.
Definitely. And thank you so much to Colin Dodge at Risen72. Follow his Godzilla podcast at Kanjiracast. Thank you to all of you listening on the radio, on Spotify, and on YouTube. I'm Lex Tan at Lex Tan Media, where you can follow me. Ringside Heat at Ringside_Heat is the handle. And we'll be back with more wrestling talk next week. And we remember the things that you probably forgot.
Yeah. Bye, everybody.
See ya.